Large sections of Britain's fishing industry are facing imminent disaster as a direct result of the trade deal signed by Prime Minister Boris Johnson, an industry chief has warned, and Jeremy Percy, chairman of the new Under-10s Fishermen's Association (NUFTA), has said the problems are perfectly encapsulated by the ongoing wrangle over the export of shellfish to the continent. Concerns over EU rules which currently prevent UK companies from exporting live shellfish such as oysters and mussels to the continent have prompted Environment Minister George Eustice to write a letter of protest to Stella Kyriakides, the European Commissioner for Health and Food Safety. However, Mr. Percy, whose organisation represents boats under 10 metres in length, said the government only had itself to blame. Mr. Percy, who outlined his concerns in a comment piece written for Express.co.uk, said, among all the examples of EU exit carnage inflicted on the fishing industry, the complete ban on the export to the EU of almost all live bivalves, such as mussels and clams, has had possibly the worst real-time impact, with businesses built up over many years on the verge of losing everything. George Eustice has claimed repeatedly that this ban was the fault of the EU, that he was surprised that the EU had changed their position and that the ban had been sprung upon us rather casually. The legislation has in fact been in existence for some years, and the truth of the matter only became clear when a letter from Mr. Eustice, written on December 10, showed that he had in fact been aware of the forthcoming apocalypse at that time. Mr. Percy claimed the enthusiasm of the larger-scale sector of the fleet, which relies on quota, had effectively drowned out the voices of smaller-scale fishermen such as himself, who relied on shellfish exports, and who had been voicing their concerns for many months. He added, "We are promised world-leading fisheries management and an opportunity to revisit the deal in 5.5 years' time. Unless there is a rapid and dramatic approach by government to the former, then the latter date will be meaningless, as many of the smaller-scale, sustainable fishermen that Brexit promised to protect and prosper will not be around to see it." Mr. Eustice clashed with Shadow Environment Secretary Luke Pollard last week after the latter claimed the fishing sector had lost trust and confidence in the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA. Speaking in the Commons, Mr. Pollard said, "Fishing boats are tied up, fish exporters are tied up with red tape.